I just think you're thinking about this in the entirely wrong way. Sounds like a prison. They're like, take your nose ring out, dye your hair brown. Too many people do that, and that's why too many people are having bad sex. You are a liar and an actress. Go the fuck out. And I really don't give a fuck if some people are gonna hear that and be like, your standards are too high. Okay, meet them or leave me alone. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but recently YouTube decided it would be a great idea to start recommending my videos to a bunch of people who hate bitches with purple hair, bitches who spread purple eyeshadow all over their faces every day, bitches with nose piercings, and bitches covered in tattoos. So welcome, all of my ops. You are gonna hate this video. I actually made fun of you guys for 36 minutes, I believe, over on Patreon this week. So if you're interested in hearing all of what I have to say, you can pay me. You can pay me and find out. There was one comment of a man being like, she really needs to learn how to do her makeup. And what he meant by that was she needs to learn how to stop smearing purple on her face every morning and do a nice smoky eye like men like. You are way too straight to be here. Way too straight to be here. So today I'm going to continue to smear purple all over my face and experience the joy and artistry that comes with doing my makeup while exclusively talking to the girls and gays who watch my videos. Sorry you've never had fun in your life. I can't help you. I've got my hands tied up. I'm never gonna take advice from someone who wears a Patagonia vest. I'm really sorry. I won't be doing that though. I asked you guys over on my Instagram at Maddie Dragsbaek to submit any and every fun, juicy question that you have brewing up inside your brain right now. I come to you with sleepover vibes, ready to do my classic purple makeup routine, since some of you need a reminder on who the fuck I am, because I know it's not me you were talking to. All right, is this gonna be crazy? First question, so how has not being on birth control been going? Honestly, pretty great. I just feel like there's no point for me to be on birth control because I will have the world's worst period no matter what. So it actually doesn't fucking matter. The thing is, like, birth control helps with my period like once in a blue moon. I'll like go through phases where it works and then all of a sudden it just is like, not anymore. And I'm like, okay, awesome. On top of the fact that sex is just not the priority in my life right now. So it's like, what's the point of me being on birth control if it's not helping with my periods and I have no risk of getting pregnant right now? So I just went off it because it's like, I would rather be off if I don't have to be on. And it's been kind of awesome. I mean, I will go back on birth control eventually because the idea of having sex off birth control brings me so much anxiety. I don't know how people do that. I could never. Love birth control for doing the birth controlling, you know? That's awesome, but I'm not having sex, so what's the point? Have you guys met my foster kitten, Bewildered? I feel like maybe he's only been on the podcast / Patreon. Man goes asleep on the heating pad and he's right next to her. Look at you sweet boy. Not kidding, he literally spends all day bullying me. He talks back, like he screams and yells at me. I get bullied into doing whatever he wants me to do. Like I have no rights so long as he is here. Okay, wait, actually, before I dive in too deep here, I wanna make myself a fun little beverage. Hold on. I have been loving mud water recently, which is a coffee alternative that smells so good. Made from organic cacao, masala chai, and functional mushrooms as well. It has like a fraction of the amount of caffeine that coffee has, which I love because I am a beverage maximalist. So any way I can be reducing my caffeine intake across my many beverages, probably a good idea. And they're also the sponsor of today's video. How fun! You're just gonna take a little scoop of the mud water, add in a bit of hot water, mix it up, and then add whatever fixins you like. I'm gonna add in some oat milk and a little bit of pistachio creamer, and then an absurd amount of ice. It mostly tastes like chai and cacao, but the pistachio creamer adds like a nice little touch of pistachio that just pairs so well with the mud water. It's a nice little boost of energy and focus without like overloading myself on caffeine to the point where I'm jittery or I'm gonna have trouble sleeping if I'm drinking it later on in the day, like I am right now. But if you wanna try some out yourself, you can click the link in the description of this video or scan the QR code on screen and use code Maddie Dragsbaek for 15% off your starter kit plus a free frother. Girl, how do I feel worthy of someone hot and sexy when hot guys never approach / hit on me? Hey, quick question. Why are we judging our own beauty and worthiness off of what men think of us? Since when are men the keepers of what is hot and what is not? Baby, you are beautiful. You are so beautiful and wonderful and gorgeous and sexy and hot and all of those things. You don't need a man to hit on you in order for that to be true. And I know you probably already know that, but I think sometimes we have these unconscious beliefs that work their way into the way we see ourselves. And this is why the topic of decentering men comes up all the fucking time, because you might be sitting at home thinking to yourself, like, obviously I value my own opinion over what a man thinks of me, but then in practice, it might be a little bit more complicated. Your confidence in yourself cannot come from what these random men may or may not think of you. And also, I don't think that whether or not you get hit on is the bar for literally anything. You shouldn't need a man's approval of you in order to know that you are beautiful, gorgeous, and worthy of being loved by someone else. How do you feel worthy of someone hot and sexy when hot guys never approach / hit on you? You're looking for that affirmation and that feeling of worthiness in the complete wrong place. You need to look for that within you, not within them. Also, it's worth noting that you're referring to one very specific type of man. There are a lot of people that don't hit on or approach anyone in that kind of way. I don't know how many sweethearts and lover boys are hitting on women out in public. I just think you're thinking about this in the entirely wrong way. I don't think that this metric of if strangers hit on you in public or not is even one of the top 200 metrics of how to gauge your attractiveness in the eyes of other people. But even like saying that out loud makes me want to vomit into my hands, because I just think you should never think about that. Who gives a fuck? Show up as exactly who you are, dress the way you want, present the way you want, love the way you want. You be you, and the right people will find you. I don't know why we're concerned about attracting random ass men or what random ass dudes think of us. I promise you, your beauty and your worthiness is not determined in how many random men are hitting on you in public. Not even close. How much compromising is too much compromising? Early dating in particular. I feel like I would have given you a different answer to this question at like every age that I have been in my life. Not kidding. And because you specified early dating in particular, I'm gonna answer for early dating in particular. How much compromising is too much compromising in early dating? I don't think that we should be compromising for people we don't trust. I think that compromise and trust go hand in hand. Compromise is an important part of any relationship, romantic, friendship, familial, anything. Any relationship you have with another person involves compromise. But I do think that we should be cautious of who and how much we are compromising and what our level of trust is with that person. In early dating, assuming your first date, second date, third date, we're talking like early stages of getting to know someone, I don't think that you should be dealing with that much compromise. Not in big ways, at least. You know, like we can compromise on where we're gonna go to dinner that night, or I don't fucking know, trivial shit like that. But in terms of compromising what it is that you want and what you feel comfortable with, I don't think that you should be doing that for random fucking people that you don't know and trust. And I say this as someone that has compromised way too much for people she did not know that much in the past. I just can't tell you the amount of times in my life I met someone who really wasn't giving me the energy that I wanted them to give. And I was always in my head like, you know what, I'll give them time to rise to my level. I'll give them time to really match me, which is fine if that's the direction it's fucking trending. But so often, that's not the reality of things. And we're compromising for people that don't have any intention of rising to our level, which is why I say that compromise is something that comes with trust. It's great to compromise for someone that you trust is on the same page as you, that you trust you're in alignment with, that you have a certain level of camaraderie and a friendship with at baseline. I don't think we need to be compromising for people who are essentially strangers to us. And if we are compromising for people who are essentially strangers to us, I think we need to be asking ourselves why. Is it just because we don't want to be alone? Because we have this thought inside our head that's like, if one more thing doesn't work out, I'm gonna fucking collapse? Because I get it. I've been there 100%. And also, the more I've done that, the older that I've gotten, the less willing I am to compromise anymore. I'm all about being kind and understanding and patient with people. And also, there is an amount that's appropriate based on how much you know someone and how much you trust them. You know, like obviously treat people like normal, flawed people. And also don't be compromising the things that you want because you've convinced yourself you have to shrink yourself or your standards are too high simply because you want someone who's like actively committed to you and enthusiastic about the same kind of relationship that you are, you know? And I really don't give a fuck if some people are gonna hear that and be like, your standards are too high. Okay, meet them or leave me alone. Thoughts on anti-aging procedures. I don't want to be left behind, but I don't know if I want to. I don't want to be left behind, but I don't know if I want to. Just broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. There is a lot of pressure to freeze yourself in time and look young forever. Don't let any sign of age or growth or life lived show on your face or body at all. And listen, I think that everyone should do whatever the fuck they want with their body. I don't have any issues with people on an individual level choosing to make various cosmetic choices to their bodies. However, what I do have a problem with is the marketing of these procedures, the promotion of these procedures, and anybody who makes anyone feel worse about themselves for not undergoing these procedures. Anyone that talks about these anti-aging procedures, or any cosmetic procedure for that matter, any plastic surgery for that matter, talks about getting them versus not getting them as being like the thing that makes you hot or not, or worthy of love or not worthy of love. Like, that's the shit that I have a problem with, which is why I sort of resolved within myself that I would never do anything like that. To be honest, I just feel like I grew up around a lot of adult women that spoke so poorly of themselves, and I have seen the most beautiful women in my eyes live their lives believing that if they just kept tweaking themselves, they could finally become beautiful. And that always broke me to witness. And I think like is a major contributor to why I personally wouldn't get anti-aging or any like big cosmetic procedures done. My relationship with my body, my relationship with my body as it ages, I don't want that to be something that mirrors the women that I watched growing up. I don't want to enter a cycle where every couple years when the trends change, I feel like I have to drop several thousands of dollars on my appearance to like it again. I am constantly aware of how much money is in this industry. Who is making money off of convincing us that we are not enough as we are right now? I'm very aware of this. It's a part of my brain that I don't feel like I can ever shut off. So even if there comes a time in my life where I'm in my head like, oh, well, what if I did just this one thing? I am worried about what doing that one thing would do to my brain. So it's easier for me just to be like, actually, I'm not doing any of that whatsoever. I would rather learn to embrace myself as I am, embrace letting life show on my face, on my body. I want people to see the life I've lived when they look at me. And it's funny, I think I talked about this on the Patreon recently, perhaps in the most recent Patreon episode. But I was talking about how I feel like I have been in the position of being a role model for a lot of my life, being an older sister, being someone who taught dance to a bunch of young girls growing up, dance being something that's very physical and sometimes brings up a lot of body image problems for people. I was a camp counselor at a camp that was all about helping young women build self-confidence and find leadership skills and like step into themselves, become better friends. And now I make videos and have a bunch of people who watch me of all ages, but I'm like, it's not lost on me who is listening to me and who is watching me. And the idea of some young girl out there watching me and looking up to me, resonating with me, may it be my sister or former dance students, former campers, or one of you guys, it would actually crush me. It would crush my spirit to make anybody feel like they needed to change themselves in order to be beautiful and worthy of love, or that they needed to freeze themselves at this moment in time. It just makes me sad. But I also empathize with the people that are undergoing these procedures, whether it is like a choice that feels completely their own, which to be honest with you, I don't think there ever is. We don't live in a black hole. Like, we're all influenced by this stuff. I don't judge people who do make those decisions, but for me, it feels important for my own mental health to push against that pressure, both for myself, for the younger version of myself, for my current version of myself, for the future version of myself, like for my mental health. It feels better to push against those pressures and remind myself that like, there are billions of dollars in this industry. There is a lot of money in trying to convince me that how I am right now isn't enough. They've got the marketing budget, okay? So my brain's gonna have to work overtime to combat that marketing budget. And that's something that I would rather do for younger me, for present me, for future me, and for everyone that's watching me. So how do I feel about anti-aging procedures? I don't like the marketing of them. I don't like the promotion of them. I don't like how normalized they've become, and I don't like the pressure that people feel to undergo those procedures. I hope you know that you don't have to undergo any kind of anti-aging procedure if you don't want to. And there's something really beautiful about letting your body age and letting your body, your physical being, be a proof of the kind of brilliant and adventurous life you've lived. It's all very complicated. I have very complicated feelings on most permanent cosmetic procedures and even semi-permanent cosmetic procedures. It's not something that I can have like a, yes, it's all bad or yes, it's all good. You know what I mean? It's complicated. It is completely complicated to me. I just want people to feel comfortable in themselves as they are and know that they don't have to change themselves in order to be happy. You don't need to. You don't need to. Wanting is a different thing, but it's the need, it's the reliance, it's the feeling like you have to, the pressure that I really don't like. And in terms of like celebrities and people with platforms promoting these things, that is where you start to hear my hard and fast opinions. I think that shit is bad. I think it is bad. But on an individual level, I feel really quite complicated about it. Would you, as an experienced person, be totally put off by inexperienced people? Personally, no. Number one, with every new person that you're with, things are gonna be a little different. What feels good for one person, what one person likes, is not gonna be the same thing for everyone. So you sort of have to learn and relearn what great sex looks like partner to partner, or at least you should. Some people don't do that, but it's not like a one size fits all kind of thing. So I don't love the idea that like you can be so experienced that you don't need to like plug in and learn about your new partners. I think that too many people do that, and that's why too many people are having bad sex. And also, anyone that has had sex with men knows that having experience doesn't mean they know what the fuck they're doing. Because again, it's a listening problem, not an experience problem. I have had sex with experienced people who clearly have never listened to a woman once in their life when she told them what felt good and what didn't. It's not really about experience, it's about listening, and plenty of people with experience didn't listen. Listening is more important. So no, I don't personally care if someone is experienced or not, because I think there is a learning curve in any sexual relationship. I'm also not an asshole. Again, it's not the experience that matters, it's the listening that matters. So if you listen, we'll be all good. Because there's plenty of people with experience that haven't learned shit, okay? So it really doesn't matter that much. This is what they're so afraid of. Like, how could you not love this? I would so much rather wake up in the morning and smudge purple all over my face. Like, this is true joy, okay? This is the bisexual experience. This is the shit that you straight people would never fucking understand. You want me to have my hair be brown against my natural purple hue. It's just crazy. Like, the world these people want me to live in sounds like a prison. Sounds like a prison. They're like, take your nose ring out, dye your hair brown, and then remove all of your tattoos one by one until you're bare like a baby. No. How do you let go when no questions were answered after the breakup? I feel like sometimes we convince ourselves that we need some type of closure in order to move on. But I think a lot of times their silence, their indifference, their aloofness, their unwillingness to communicate or make this easy on your heart is kind of all the closure that you need. They kind of gave you your answer in that, and that might be a tough pill to swallow or feel like such an immense heartbreak, such an immense disappointment that they are treating you this way. So you sort of close your eyes and you think to yourself, well, I'm so confused. Like, there must be an explanation for this kind of behavior. If only we had this closure, we had this final conversation where they could explain to me why it is that they're treating me so poorly, that they're so indifferent to my feelings, whatever it is. Like, I think we want to believe that there is an explanation for why people treat us poorly, but sometimes there just isn't, because it has nothing to do with us. Like, if somebody breaks up with you out of nowhere and refuses to have a conversation with you about it, does some freak nasty shit to you, I understand the like urge to want answers there, because it's so shocking. It's like, well, what the fuck? I would never do that to you. Why are you doing that to me? But let's look at that first part again. I would never do that to you. You have learned something valuable through witnessing how they are willing to treat you. Someone who would never do them like that. Sit with that learning. Sometimes people give us closure through their actions instead of their words. To me, it's like anyone who has it in their heart to have supposedly loved you and cared for you and then not communicate to you when and if that changes and just be a general fucking asshole about it. Maybe they cheat on you or do something else that's just completely out of line and nasty for no reason. If someone has it in their heart to treat you like that, you have learned all that you needed to about them. And you can be shocked and you can be disappointed and you can look around and be like, what the fuck? How did I miss that they were like this? And just know that some people can put on a damn good show. You are a liar and an actress. Go the fuck out. But actually, it's okay to just be disappointed. And it's okay to sit there and be like, I would never do this to you. And if I accidentally did this to you, the first time you sent me a text being like, hey, what the fuck? I would respond within 20 seconds max, because I'd be so concerned about correcting the record. I would never do that to you. And really, sometimes I think that is answer enough. Should I go on a date with someone I'm not physically attracted to? I actually watched a really good video the other day by Caroline Winkler. The video was called like, I dated outside my type and this is what happened. And it was about the story of her meeting her partner. In the video, she talks about dating and, you know, dating one way and always ending up with the same types of guys. And then one day looking at herself being like, you know what, maybe I am picking the wrong people. Like, maybe I should go and give these people a chance, these people that I am not attracted to at all. And in the video, she talks about how that was just her boomeranging in the complete opposite direction. And the people she wasn't attracted to still did her dirty, except this time she wasn't attracted to them. So she had to sit there and be like, well, what the fuck? If I'm gonna get done dirty like this, I should at least fucking like you. And I thought that was really funny and refreshing, because I think that like so often in dating, people will look at themselves and be like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Should I just start dating people that I fucking hate? And maybe I'll have better luck. And then you do, and you figure out it's the same exact thing, except now you're just dating people that you don't actually like. So here's the thing. It really depends on who you are and what you mean by someone I'm not physically attracted to. No, I don't think you should go out with someone you're not physically attracted to. Because guess what? They deserve to be loved by someone who loves all of them. And if you can't, that's fine. Don't waste their time. But if it's someone that you think is cute but doesn't check all of your boxes, then fucking yeah, obviously. I don't think that like, I don't know, when people come ready with like a list of physical traits they need in a partner, I think that's fucking lame. But like, if you're attracted to someone and maybe they don't look like the person you thought you'd end up with, but you are attracted to them, then absolutely go out with them. But if you're not attracted to someone, you don't have to go out with them. And you should watch Caroline's video, because she had a lot of good things to say about dating outside of your type. You know, like if you're finding yourself constantly going for people who are really emotionally distant and avoidant, then, you know, it's something to think about and look into. Maybe you should go out with someone who is a little bit too eager in your eyes or too nice, whatever it is, like that is probably a better thing to test out rather than, you don't need to date someone that you don't find attractive. But also sometimes this conversation does confuse me a little bit because I'm someone that doesn't really have a physical type at all. I find lots of different people attractive. So if you're the type of person that has like a really strict physical type, like, yeah, maybe we should do some digging here of why you need the person that you're with to be within this very specific mold of person. You know what I mean? But if you feel like you are attracted to a wide range of people, but you just haven't met your right person yet, and now you're sitting here being like, should I go on a date with someone I'm not physically attracted to? No. Cue for the group chat, TBH. Can we do an "It's Over, but I'll always love you" type of playlist with the lover girl? This is a great question because I have actually been thinking that it's about time to do a Heartbroken Girls Worldwide playlist. We've made a collaborative Lover Girls Worldwide playlist. We've made a collaborative Yearning Girls Worldwide playlist. Now I feel like it's about time that we make a Heartbroken Girls Worldwide playlist. So I've done the liberty of adding a Heartbroken Girls Worldwide option to the music submission box. It'll be linked in the description of this video. If you would like to contribute to the collaborative playlist and suggest a song that should be on Heartbroken Girls Worldwide, you let me know. You submit it in the box and maybe, just maybe, it will appear on the playlist. At the end of the day, I hold the final say of these things. I'm gonna be the final curator, so if your song doesn't end up on the playlist, no tea, no shade, but choices have to be made. And we'll do a revealing of the Heartbroken Girls Worldwide playlist during my next video. So get your submissions in, because by the next time you see me, the playlist, at least in its initial form, will be finalized, but that song submission box is always open in case you want to submit some stuff. I go through every now and then and look at what people have submitted. So really, your best bet at getting onto the playlist is in this first run at it, because listen, I've got shit to do. I can't be updating that playlist every single week. So here we are, my gorgeous, sexy, purple smeared eyeshadow look. I bet you never knew a bitch with natural purple hair. Well, now you do. Pleased to meet you. My name is Maddie Dragsbaek. Probably should have put that at the beginning. Hey, to anyone that's new. If you want to see some more of me, I do have a podcast, Emotionally Online, that is live every single Thursday. And we also have a Patreon where I post a ton of bonus video content, extended podcast episodes. I just did an April favorites video. We do a monthly live stream over there, which is actually going to be tomorrow. April 23rd is this month's Patreon live stream in case you want to come join and hang out live. And we also have a Lover Girls Discord, so you can come and chat with us and make some new friends in your area, perhaps. Love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.